Okay, we're going to do the third and the fourth conversion today. So this one is going to be decimal to percent. So if I'm going to convert from a decimal to a percent, then I am going to multiply the decimal by 100. And what does that really mean? That means move the decimal point two times to the right. These would be the same exact thing. I'm multiplying by 100, but instead of doing all that multiplying every single time, all I'm going to do is move the decimal point two times to the right. So for our examples, I have 32 hundredths. 32 hundredths, if I take 32 hundredths and I multiply that by 100. I'm going to do the first one out so that you can see. So we would do 32 times 100. 2 is 0, 0, and 3. And then 2. And then 0, 0, and 3. When I add those up, I get 3,200. But you have to remember that you've got two decimal places here. So I would have to put two decimal points in here. So that would be 1, 2, and the decimal point would fall behind. So my conversion from 32 hundredths into a percent, it would be 32%. If I have 91 hundredths, I'm going to just multiply by 100 or move that decimal point two times to the right, and I would have 91%. If I had 7 hundredths, 7 hundredths times 100 would mean move that decimal point twice to the right, and I would get 7%. If I had 831 thousandths, and I'm going to multiply that by 100, that would be 1, 2, and it would be 83 1/10%. So I would multiply by 100, move the decimal point twice to the right. Okay, the next one would go the opposite direction, which would be percent to decimal. All right, so if I have a percent, then I am going to divide the decimal by 100. And that's the same as moving the decimal point two times to the left. Okay, so when I'm converting from percent to decimal now, I am going to be putting that decimal point in the opposite direction, dividing. All right, here's our examples. So now I have a percent of 63%. Okay, I'm going to drop the percent, and then I'm going to move the decimal point, because the decimal point is at the end of this number. It's at the end of the number. So I'm going to move that decimal point to the left two times, and I'm going to get 63 hundredths. 63 hundredths. If I have 4%. Okay, now with the 4, my decimal point is behind it. When I divide by 100, I'm moving it twice to the left. 1, 2. I need to make sure that I add a 0 in there. So this is going to be 4 hundredths. Okay. If I have 132%, and I need to change that to a decimal, drop the percent, and I would have 132. I'm going to divide by 100, the decimal points at the end, 1, 2. So my answer is going to be 1 32 hundredths. Okay? So that's how we convert from decimal to percent, percent to decimal.